Hey, it's me, teen pop sensation Ariana Grindr.
And me, Randy Drew.
Also known as
Autumn Moon.
Oh my god, and you're listening and watching Glamazon Prime. There's Amazon's in our prime. Sorry for putting across you. Typical man
We're
interruption.
just running around.
That's our own
Busy women
business.
being busy.
We're running out to the gig. It's Autumn Moon's first day working in Pantibar.
I've no nails on, don't pluck me.
Well, listen, that's our business. Should be serving popcorn later on. I used to tell people when I used to serve the popcorn, oh yeah, I don't wear nails
Popcorn,
because
feed the
I used to
children.
lie and be like, oh, I'm not allowed to wear nails because if it falls into the popcorn, someone could choke with a choking hazard. Totally lying. Gays love a choking hazard. Oh my god, that's our own business. I'm wearing my Sabrina Carpenter wig. It needs a bit of zhuzh. And
Gotcha, man.
I find you're kind of giving me Adele a bit like Harry Adele.
Hello. It's my ass.
The D.
I'm
I'm so
wondering.
excited to have you in the Pantibar with me. It's going to be so nice. I'll be there every Sunday from 6 until 9.
Oh, my goodness.
In a very, very genuine nice way. And it's such a gorgeous day. An awful day to be stuck inside. But listen, happy fucking Christmas. We'll get paid and we're
That's
doing
it.
what we love.
Yeah.
You look gorgeous. You made this dress.
We're giving Miss Green Tina. This is my green Shrek dress.
The original Shrek before they went and fucked him up.
Yeah, before they turned him into Joe Rogan.
I heard rumbling.
There is a hole in the front. We won't talk
Well,
about
listen, everyone needs a hoe.
it.
Every hoe's a go. This is a very inclusive dress.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I feel like the dragon from Shrek.
Oh, gorge, Tina. We need to get your little donkey tonight.
Dance me up.
Yeah, be horse out of it, but that's your own business. A little stallion. But yeah,
John and Blue.
this is the old Shrek, the OG amazing Shrek
Mhm.
before they went and gave him fucking buccal fat removal and colleen fat removal.
Stand up so the guys can see the print. This print, Tina.
Everyone put your 3D glasses on, turn around, give them some of the back of the 3D glasses on.
Ooh,
Oh.
3D.
Come here to me, Peanut Gallery. What time are we at over there?
26 minutes past.
So we're going to have to love you some email in a few minutes, but we're going to come back to you after the gig and get out of Geisha into a cute little boy / they them Luke. Depending, sometimes I don't know what my pronouns are. It's a work of I'm a work in progress. We're going to get into cute little out of drag looks and tell you about how Autumn Moon's first day in Pantibar went. I'm so excited. You always remember your first gay.
You're so wrapped up in layers on your boy, you're afraid of your own feelings.
Welcome to Do Like It's a Perfect Crown. I got a crown. I got a fall out. That's my old business.
My dentist said you need a crown. I said, I know, right?
Brimstone. I don't know nothing about no brimstone.
You guys like brimming?
Fancy a brim job? We're actually on fire today. It's a pity we can't stay here for another an hour. Why? It's like the best one.
We can show in a few clips.
Listen,
We'll take this along.
Yeah, it's a clip show. No,
Right,
I'm
get
going
the
to try.
fucking taxi.
Yeah,
Whatever.
would you mind ordering the taxi? Lauren, shout out Lauren, friend of the pod.
Oh my goodness.
She is our runner / I don't know what we have to
She's
get
our
a
momager.
We have to get a proper title for her.
She's our momager.
Momager. The very much.
She leaves the Kardashians aching, quaking, and shaking. Chris can't take it.
The Kardashians. Kardashians.
Oh my goodness.
That's us. That would have been a good
The
pod
taxi.
name.
Don't jinx the taxi.
Oh yeah, Kardashians.
I'm more likely to be killed on the way to the gig than at the gig.
Very much. I got in a limo crash before. Did I ever tell you that?
No, but
How iconic. My first time and last time in a limo, it crashed on Crumlin Road. It was me and all my cousins and my sisters and brother. And we're going to, I think it was, do you remember Sin, the 50-euro wristband? Oh my god, it's the taxi here. I'm going to have to tell you about this later on. But it crashed. It was like, I could just hear fucking smells and mumbles in my head go, baddie to baddie, while we all went flying with fucking glasses of fucking Prosecco in slow motion throughout the fucking gig. But we all lived to tell the tale.
We can
That's
do a
our business.
recreation. That's
More
enough.
about this later on.
More at 11.
Everyone wish Autumn Moon a great first day. Bye.
Goodbye.
3D.
1 minute.
What flag?
Let's go, bitches.
Hey everyone, welcome back. We're home from the gig. We are going to untuck in the Ulterior Motives Lounge. Well, cheers.
Into Lounge. Oh, Slantuna.
If you're not watching Unfucked, you only get 1/4 of the story.
Exactly.
Listen, that's a real business. Come here to me now. How did you get on your first day?
Oh my god, it was fucking terrible. Harrowing. Harrowing.
Did you mark yourself safe on Facebook when you were done?
I just don't feel like I was safe, so I don't feel like it's appropriate for me to do that.
Very much. And
That was great. It was good crack.
now she has PTSD.
Yeah, no, she goes to me, right? She goes to me. We have to stop saying she when I.
Oh, that's her own business. We can call it. We can call it what we want.
I was told, and I've been to the Sunday show, and it's nice. Normal relaxed tea, and but obviously not. I wasn't not thinking it'd be busy because it was Patrick's Day, but it didn't click with me. oh, this is kind of Patrick's night, because it was like literally once I hit 12, it was
Yeah.
Patrick's. And the place was jammers. Oh my God. Even on a
Yeah.
Friday, it's not normal. It was like jammers.
What are you talking about? It's always that jammers. And it wasn't even that packed because it was Paddy's Day. They just knew I was going to be there.
Yeah. No. What's the common denominator? Mama. They knew the tea was real.
That's
No,
what
it was really busy.
And
And it was
great
busy
having-
all day.
It was so great having you there. And it was just so fab. And even so, basically, I was on for the night. So basically, I was supposed to be like 6 until 9. But when I realised how busy it was going to be, they were like, can you do 6 to 8 and then like 9 to close? So I was like, absolutely, because I love a long gig. Wouldn't be like me. That's my own business. And so I had to leave you by yourself on your first day for a whole hour. But you had a great time.
I did my own show. I just wanted to say shout out to Panty, who hand selected me to do my own private personal show
Absolutely.
in Pantibar on one of the busiest days of the year. I thought that was really appropriate for how country I am. Yeah, but come here. Half of these tramps, none of these other tramps can be like, I did my own show, Panty.
And you can.
I did.
Listen,
I was abandoned by Mother Goose. Mother Gothel left the tower, and I was like 7 a.m. the usual morning. Right on. Line up.
Nice man. And just to speak on, to address the elephant in the room,
Just because I'm not wearing a fucking corset for once. It's on I got you now. You're on candid
I
camera.
was trying to do me whistle those plus your business. No, your very Sonosha Shrek garment that you made.
The Shrek Una. Can we have a bit of commotion with the Shrek Una, girls? Editing people screaming
And
applause.
the very, very much in a genuine nice way. But I have more Shrek lore to add to the Shrek lore Tina.
The plot thickens.
So obviously the algorithm was algorithming, and it obviously was listening in to us talk about the Shrek Tina lore. So I decided to extend the lore.
Okay.
So basically, I saw a video it was recommended, and it was how there's like a British dub of Shrek. Like there's American, obviously, like there's English dubs or whatever, like Chinese dubs, German dubs, but you would think because English is spoken in the United States and the
It's
United
an
Kingdom,
English movie, Mary, yeah.
you wouldn't even, but they do. So you know Doris, the drag queen, or like that works in the pub.
His face was carved by angels.
That one. So Larry King, this American TV host, does her voice.
Oh, really?
But in England, it's Jonathan Ross.
Is it?
I swear to God. So people watching this who are from Britain. Well,
I love Shrek and I didn't know that. I don't think
but
I've ever heard
in
of
Ireland,
Jonathan
we
Ross.
got the American one.
Okay.
But in Britain, they got the Jonathan Ross one. But it's
Love
only
that.
in Shrek 2. In Shrek 3, it's Larry King again. So it's a bit of a continuity, situational situation.
Yeah, the Shrek multiverse.
Yeah.
Can we get a version where they fucking edit someone else's voice into the Justin Timberlake role?
Yeah, that part.
Let's have that conversation. Oh, let's make it a trans character and let's put Britney in dubbed version. Thank you, DreamWorks. Next question.
The very much.
Yeah. When I was small, I was upset. I was just not a thing. You have the affinity for the queer and the queer coded characters when you're young. Well, when this was all fails.
This is where Al fails up here.
But I was always in the love of the geesh and the gauge and the gooch of the so-called ugly stepsister. I always thought, Mama, she's serving looks.
Oh, the very much. Oh, and can we have some commotion for the Mickey Mikes?
Mickey Mikes. They can't see
Mickey
the Mickey
Mikes.
Mikes. We're getting really good at podcasting, so we both have the mics now and our Mickeys because we've realised that that's a better area.
Yeah, so basically, when I got these microphones, I didn't realise how bloody sensitive they were. And there's no way of turning the sensitivity down, so I have a very sensitive Mickey mic. So we had
Very
them here.
sensitive area.
We had them up here where you're supposed to have them,
Yeah.
but it was just too loud.
like-
So we had them here, and as you can probably, if you've been watching the podcast and not just listening to it, you'll notice that the microphone gets lower
They keep
every episode.
vibrating.
So now we have them on our Mickeys, just so you know.
Mickey Mikes.
Mickey mics,
More 11.
the very much.
Yeah, the gig was great and the crowd was fantastic.
Oh, it was so good.
I have to say it was great.
I literally do come home and I can't go straight to bed because I'm like, I feel like Kylie Minogue. I'm just like,
La la la.
I'm spinning around. That's my own business. But I'm gonna eat the ass.
So I left town around, it was going up to 12, but it wasn't quite, the place wasn't closed, maybe quarter, half 11, something like that.
Okay.
What time did you end up finishing?
I finished 12:30. I'll give you a laugh. So for some reason, two different staff members had said to me at one point, "Oh, it's great, we're finishing at 12 tonight."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh,
one of the
really?"
security guards or somebody I heard saying that, and I was like, oh, very nice.
I was like, "Okay, grand." And so at 12, I played my last song, music went off.
You were like,
Everyone clapped.
goodbye.
I did, and everyone clapped, and it was like, that was it. And obviously, you get to do one more tune. And then one of the managers goes to me, we've another half an hour to go. And I'm like, well, I'm so sorry. I was like, a few people had said to me that we finished at 12, and he was like, oh no, that's tomorrow.
You're like, you
And I was
lied,
like-
you lied, you never lied so much.
I was like, I'm absolutely, I apologise profusely. I was like, it's fine, it's grand. So
Man bastards.
they got an extra half an hour out of me, the audience did.
Now it is
But to be honest, they were more grateful because they thought it was over, and then they got an extra half an hour.
Yeah.
So they could.
This is what Paddy's Day dreams are made of.
Very much. But yeah, no, it was such a fun gig.
You know, we can't leave this building without doing our first hit song, or Never Can Say Goodbye. I have to do Ronnie Drew for your sister, or she will cause fucking.
Sharon Atty, friend of the pod, she
Shout
will
out to that
she will do a
friend.
skill shooting
Maybe
if you
some
don't
for
do
you.
Ronnie Drew. So this is technically our Paddy's Day special.
Yeah, well, this is still the Paddy's Day. It's after Patrick's Day now because we're busy little divas.
Well, listen,
but
the video started before Paddy's Day, and then
Yeah.
we're just kind of like an after party.
we've extended Patrick's Day. We've broadened the scope of what Patrick's Day can be.
You're welcome. Go on, take it away, Ronnie.
Hello. How are you doing? I'm your favourite drag queen, Randy Brown. Back in Dublin in 1966, in the tenements and the flower markets in Dublin, the real true people of Dublin, oftentimes, were very hard-pressed people. The people of Dublin were known worldwide for their laughter, their smiles, and a pint of lion.
Very much. Nice, mate. Well, happy Paddy's week.
Raphael
Ronnie.
Padraig.
Raphael Padraig.
That was a very successful shop in the Gaelga.
very much.
As our weekly viewers and listeners will know, we did a couple of long Gaelga podcasts.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to Board Bia.
Listen, I was real bored. Yeah. What crazy me, the gig. You were very good at making the popcorn.
Oh my god.
It was real salty. Her
They never
pronouns
popped so much.
are now salty bitch.
Feeding all of the children. I have to say, some people take the piss with popcorn. I was
In what
handing out
way?
6 and 7 and 8 cups to some people.
I know.
I was like, you go up and buy a few fucking drinks, you can have one.
No, I just felt bad because there was people at the back of the bar who hadn't gotten one popcorn yet, and people were coming back for like the 7 and 8 one.
Well, you came over with a tray and I thought you reinvented the artistry of drag. I was like, oh my god, we can hand out so
So
much
what I
popcorn.
did was then I filled up the tray and I snuck behind the bar. I was going
I filled up the
downstairs.
tray.
Thank you. And I brought the tray around. So I was like sneaking behind the bar so I could get to the people at the back. Because as I was walking to the back, people were taking them, which was great.
passage.
It wouldn't be like me. And then I was sneaking downstairs and coming up the other way because I just wanted to make sure everyone got some. And I didn't want to be that party people like, no, you can't have any. You already had some. Slapping the hands away because that's not good customer service either. So I made sure.
No, I
we
didn't say
made
it
sure-
to anybody. I just was judging them internally.
Yeah, very much. But I was doing backflips, trying to make sure that every member of the audience, there was one for every member of the audience.
It was very
You get a
blatantly-
popcorn. You get a popcorn. Everybody gets a popcorn. They're very much, but at least it's not going to be as busy every single week, so it's going to be a lot easier to
And
feed
come
all the
here,
children.
the viewers are waiting on tenterhooks, bated breath. Did you end up having your Sunday drink?
No. I'm a flop Tina. So because I was supposed to go out, my plan was to finish up in Pantibar at 9, get into a cute boy look, and then go out. for
But
my
you
friend's
decided to
birthday.
save that for tonight.
You know, we look gorgeous. That's our own business. I got me Mickey Bike is doing bits and bobs. And but yeah, that was the plan to go out. But because I ended up staying late in the Pantibar, I was like, you know what, there's no, but by the time I finish and get out of drag, get on a cute boy look, fix the hair, do what I need to do to make myself, and then walk over to Mother. I was like, it's gonna be closed. And I was even cutting a fine. By the time I finished, packed everything up because I had a lot of fucking baggage with me. I have loads of baggage. That's to be obvious. Oh, speaking of baggage, I lost 2 wheels off my suitcase that day.
I saw-
So I was going to fix it when I go home. I have another suitcase up in the attic, so I have to go up into the attic and do literally move
Frankenstein.
all the very much. So I need to move that stuff into that suitcase, leave the broken one up there, and bring the black suitcase down. It's the exact same suitcase, just in black, but I was using it as storage. And but yeah, it's just going to be a fucking job. But anyway, packed everything up, grand. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go to Mother in drag. I'm obviously not going to find a husband like
so you
this.
went to Mother and served Mother.
The very much on Raphael Padraig, and I got there so late that they literally had a
You went
barrier.
in, everyone started laughing. You were like,
To be fair, everyone was so nice to me. They were just like, "Oh, slay," or whatever. It's like, "Oh, listen," I said, "I promise I look 10 times better at the start of the night. I've been in drag for about 4 days." And but when I got there, the barrier was closed. They weren't letting anyone in, and there was a bunch of people without tickets trying to get in. So I was just waiting behind them just to be served, whatever. And then eventually, the security was like, "What's the story with these?" They get it. I was like, "Oh well, they don't have tickets." I was like, "Oh, I do," and they were like, "Why didn't you say so?" And I was just like, "Oh, sorry, we're in the middle of something. I didn't want to like interject." And he was just like, "Go in."
You were standing around sober in drag, and you were just like, "I'll just wait my turn."
Yeah, the very much. But like,
that's real.
my
That's
turn
like
just never came.
emotionally devastating.
Eventually, it came. Listen, eventually, they all came. Apparently, I can't speak English anymore. I went in, had a great night, didn't stay very long, left about half an hour before the end, just because went in, saw everyone who I needed to see, had a lovely little dance, a little bitch in the smoking area with my pals. Then I went home because I was like, you know what, I'm not, it was St. Patrick's weekend, I'm not like trying to get a taxi on a normal line is like, it's like the upper deck of the Titanic fighting for a lifeboat, and I'm not doing it. It's like a full quiche. So I left, ran to James Street, got on at the little taxi rank and had a taxi rank. That's the old business, and I still had to pay for it. Oh, but listen, yeah, no, I enjoyed it, but I was bollocks sorry, and I was so exhausted.
Sorry. Speaking of
That's allowed.
taxis, we have to tell the folks, the good listeners,
We
about
got
what happened.
The hate crimes. The very much hate crime. So right after we left here and we said goodbye,
And
to
we were like,
y'all,
"Oh my god, we're gonna leg at the taxis here, right?" So we ran outside, and we're going to get in the taxi, and then next of all, fucking two Sasquatches in corsets come running across the road at this taxi man. He didn't get out of the taxi, and I was like, "Oh," I was thinking, he's about to drive away.
Yeah,
he's about to drive away. And I think he thought about it because he got out of the taxi then, and Lauren was standing there.
waddles
with his friend
over
in the
to
pal.
us fuming. He looked like anger from inside out, and he was like,
looks us up and down,
and then he goes,
Jesus.
Let's go fucking right. If we weren't in a fucking rush, I would have been like, well, it's fine, we'll get the next
No, I
one.
just started laughing. I was like, work it, girl.
I was like,
Then
listen.
when we got in, he was kind of like,
And then by the time we
being
got out,
nice.
he was like, oh, have a good night.
yeah, he
I
was
was like,
big,
oh,
he got it eventually.
You know what I think it is? It's probably his internalized homophobia and the fact that he came up in that era where it was like your knee-jerk reaction is to like make a comment to show that you're not like that.
Part of the crowd.
You're real masculine.
Yeah.
And you're asserting your dominance and your masculinity. But when he realised that we were so harmless and we don't even care about like whatever all that
I
mess.
don't know about harmless. I would have booted him around in a wig and corsets and I wouldn't have lost a lash, but that's me out.
Well, I wasn't going to out you. It's the group chat like that.
I know, but I think it was just culture shock. And then when we got into the car and
he
we were
realised
laughing,
that we were
joking with him, he was like,
And then he was just like, how
he
good night.
softened. Yeah.
Well, listen, they usually do.
They usually don't.
Yeah, we don't have that effect on people.
That's why I have to wear the Mickey Mike.
Listen, come through, Mickey
Here's the
Mike.
Mickey Mike mine's a boom.
Listen, that's your own business. Next we're getting the Jolly Grip out.
Yeah, but it was very funny. You know? And then and it was like, oh, right, we were getting him. It was very good.
It was a very busy Paddy's weekend for me because I was in Pantibar on the Friday. I had Saturday off, but then Sunday I did like the double shift basically in Pantibar, and then Monday I was in again for Paddy's Day. So by the time I got home, I was in great form because the audiences or whatever were so like energetic, especially on the Paddy's Day. It was very like shoulder to shoulder. It was like Pride, and then I was skipping it out and shaking my ditties, and they were like, when I turn the music down, I get them all to sing and stuff. It was very like I felt like Kylie Minogue, and I was like, oh my god, I was like very like as wanky as it sounds, I was like so life affirming. I was like, oh god, if I ever had
This Patrick's Day was live from Tina.
yeah. Thank you. It was just a bit like if I ever thought maybe I should be doing this, or maybe I'm doing the wrong thing with my life. I was like, no. I was entertaining those people. I was having the time of my life. At one point, I was just delighted from my face, and the very much. But I could feel myself well enough at one point, and all I was doing was shaking my ditties and doing
That's
my
because you
best
saw
and
my arse.
bobs. Very much.
You saw me hip pads, and he goes, oh jeez.
And I didn't even have my 3D glasses.
And Fanny from Robots giving.
The very much.
Although the viewers will know, they saw my 3D realness. I would circling back to taxi drivers.
Yeah.
I do notice being in drag. I'm not in drag in town often. I try to avoid it at all costs. But there is definitely a breed and air. There's a string. There's a schism in the taxi drivers between the ones who will completely not acknowledge it and the ones who will. They live for the dolls. They collect more dolls than you, I'm sure. They live for the dolls. Some of these taxi men.
Do you want to hear a traumatic story?
Do it.
If you were going to say no, and I was like, and thanks for watching this episode. We would have done that.
No, I will
500
absolutely
million times.
hawk your trauma for views. Do it.
Thank you. We're going to trauma dump here. We're going to mine my trauma. We're going to farm my trauma. for
Trauma
likes and
farming.
views. So I remember one time coming home, I was doing a birthday party in Whelan's. It was pissing raining, and I was about an hour trying to get a taxi home on Free Now. They were all outside scrambling like for lifeboats in the top deck of Titanic. And I had my big speaker with me, my big bag of gear. I also had my And I was waiting for trying to get a taxi home for it. I'm gonna just have to go out and try get one off the street. And then I got outside with all my gear, getting absolutely pissed on, and not in a boiler house kind of way. And I'm standing there, and my equipment and all.
And here's where we filmed the pissing videos.
I don't know. So that's a G quote. I don't know if he's also that video Andy Lee, the Irish porn star, did.
I only saw it today. I was blown
He
away.
did a YouTube video about his porn academy. Shout out Porn Academy friend of the pod.
It's like Hogwarts for slappers.
And listen, shout out Andy Lee friend of the pod. That's his own business.
9 3/4
the
chamber of
Well, he was doing like a tour, basically, a campus tour. He was doing a campus tour of his porn universe, and he was like, and this is the room where we do all the pissing videos.
And it was just like a log cabin out with Ma's back. It was very shocked Tina. We would never film.
But he said it so casually, like, and this is where we filmed the pissing videos.
Yeah, I just where we filmed the pissing videos.
I was like, okay, girl.
Listen, you better fucking piss on those.
And then they showed the
people.
Portaloo.
Portaloo.
But the bottom of the Portaloo was a cutout for people to stick their hair down.
Listen, Charlie,
Come here. Whatever makes you happy in this lifetime.
He recently was a guest on Victoria Davina's podcast. I haven't listened to it yet. I will. We'll have to add it on because we need to expand on our Andy Lee lore very much.
Mm-hmm.
And what are we talking about?
Before we talked about taxi
and all those other things. Oh, yeah, my trauma.
Oh, trauma. Back to...
So, a taxi pulls up and it's people swarm around it because they're all fighting.
This is your wheelings soaked to the bone.
Yeah,
line.
in full drag.
So were you giving like sexy, like wet hair, like saturated, like
the very much like
is that what you were doing?
Yeah.
And they were like, "Do you want the taxi?"
And I had to
son, do you need a lift hour?
The very much. Well, he rolls down the window.
You're doing the Rain on Me choreography.
And he wasn't letting anyone else in. And he was pointing at me, and I was like, "Oh, brilliant! He obviously feels bad for me."
I choose you.
Yeah, he obviously felt bad because I had the equipment, it was in full drag. Grand.
Faggot you! I choose you.
The very much, and it was the back end of the pandemic, like afterwards, when they had the big screens on all the taxis.
Oh, so there was a safety barrier.
There was a safety barrier, so I sat in, put my speaker in, put my big bag, whatever, got in there. I was like, "Oh my god, thank you so much!" And before he pulled off, he turns around and he was just like, "Here, why don't you sit in the front beside me?" First red flag. I was like, well, at this point, you have to imagine I was an hour waiting and getting there are no drivers available for over an hour. And then I was standing in the pisser for God.
I'll drive the car if that helps. I'll do the Flintstones feet out the bottom.
No, it's fine. Just go on, drive on. So we drove on. 3.5 minutes later, to the fucking second, he pulls over and he turns around again. Would you not sit in the front beside me? And I said, "Oh no, it's grand. I'm just going home." And he was like, "But I can't hear you like for us talking." I was like, "Oh, we don't have to talk. Just I'm going home. I'm tired. Sorry."
That could have been your husband.
I know. Well, listen, wait. Be nerves. Don't speak too soon.
Okay.
And then eventually he was just like, "Do you have a boyfriend?" I was like, I lied. I was like, "Yeah, he's a hairdresser." I was making it up as I went along. She was acting. We were doing yes and.
Yes.
And
That's
improv, the very much. And then he was like, "Oh, well, actually, I'm gay, blah, blah, blah." I was like, "Oh, great, whatever." And he was just like, "Oh, I just find you so attractive." I was like, "Oh, thanks," but I just knew it was going somewhere a bit shady, so I start secretly recording the conversation just in case something.
Oh, I thought you were going to say I start secretly taking out the taser and the glove.
Very much no, but I was recording the voice just in case something bad were to happen to me. I wanted proof that something of me screaming, basically. But anyway, he pulls in outside my house and he turns around and he's just like, "We're friends, aren't we?"
Chilling. That's chilling.
And at this point, I was like,
"I am your friend, aren't you? I can tell you things."
Well, I couldn't not. I was just like, "Yeah," and he's just like, "So I'm not going to charge you today."
That's me to you every time we come to film a pod.
We're friends.
Very much. But I was just like, "No, I can pay you cash. I can pay you card. What you want?" I was like,
"Bitch, I'll pay you double to prove a point."
It was 20 quid. Like, you can have the money. Like, I don't want to owe this man anything. And I was like, "No, I have cash. I have card." And he was just like, "No, it's grand." Through the screen. I was like, "Okay then." So I got it out. I always got by eating ass. So I get out of the taxi with my cases, with my bag, with the speaker, and I come up the garden.
You hear breathing behind your neck.
Very much.
Fuck off.
I turned around and he's followed me up the garden.
That's love.
I jump a mile because I get a fright, and then he goes, "Who's in the house?"
Grooves in the house. Grooves in the house.
At this point, my whole life flashes before my eyes. I'm like, this man is gonna sexually assault me
KNS.
in this house and kill me, rape, murder, and redress me. I
Well,
was
you're
all
not
going
into
through my
him.
head.
I don't mean the
No,
situation.
no,
I
I
mean him.
wasn't.
All right, okay.
I wasn't, and even then, like I'm not into getting with people in drag. I've done it before in the past, but I'm not into it. I feel like Krusty the Clown when I'm in drag.
Yeah, I've
Like-
never done it, and I don't think it would appeal to me.
Like I would have to be either locked or completely mad about. You know, the only person I'd have sex with in drag is that person who I'm absolutely obsessed with, and I trauma dump about him every single time that we went to school with.
There's a number of them, but yes,
You know, the one that
there's a number.
the one that tried to kiss me. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
was like,
Mm-hmm.
like if he were to turn around and be like, "Listen, I'll get with you, but only if you look like a woman." Oh yeah, I go.
No,
get
I
with drag
didn't
now.
say look like one. I said in drag.
Okay, scalp,
We'll have more
scalp, Tina. But anyway,
Now, if somebody said, "Do you want to throw on a cunty little lip?" I could probably delve that far. I mean, I already have hair. This is a wig. What did you do if I pulled it off and I was just like,
But come here to me before I get too sidetracked.
oh, sorry.
Your man in the garden comes up. Who's in the house? And I was just like, everyone's in the house. Then all of a sudden, he goes in for the kill. Then he
Strangle.
sees my famous doorbell cameras. Shout out my doorbell.
Yeah.
Friend of the pod saved my life. Last night the DJ saved my life. So when it picks someone up, it goes from like red. The red ring goes to green, or vice versa. And then he saw the color change and darted.
So he knew.
He knew she got caught in Candace's camera.
Because if that happened to me, if a thing changed the colour, I would be like, that means it's recorded. I wouldn't know what that means. So maybe he's been clocked
Maybe.
before.
But I was thinking maybe it just drew his attention to it.
Okay.
He saw a little light, so he saw a doorbell camera. Like, he threw himself at me, like to wear the face off me. And I was like, and I screamed and I pushed him off me. Thank God my mum and dad were in the house. But they thought it was hilarious. And my mum
Your dad came out with the shotgun and was like, "You get out of here now, y'all. Don't come back
They
here."
were looking at the video on the phone and they're sending me the screenshots, and I was like, "Can you not see how terrified I
I'd
was?"
be like,
You know what it was like?
"Don't
It was like that scene in Monsters Inc. You know when Sully accidentally scares Boo and all
putting
the
up some big numbers, doing some serious.
But you know all
scaring.
the screenshots of Boo in slow motion, like screaming? That was me in the video. And then I sent it to a few friends, letting them know what happened to me. And they were like, "What's your problem? He's hot."
Sent it to a few friends. You should never send it to me.
Did I know? I could have sworn I did.
Maybe I just didn't have the message, but
Maybe.
no, I know you do. Of course, I remember that. How long ago was this?
Oh, it was maybe like 2 years ago.
Oh my god, so your makeup was even worse.
It was dark then. But yeah, no, I was like being like, "Oh my god, like this traumatic thing happened to me." I was looking for sympathy.
But all your friends were like, "He's gorgeous."
Yeah, he's gorgeous.
Now,
What-
do you have the pictures?
yeah, but the phone's over there.
Pull, Jamie, pull them up.
Pulled them up peanut gallery. But yeah, but they were like, "He's gorgeous. What's your problem?" I was like,
no,
"The
I'm-
problem
I'm
is I
very
didn't consent
intrigued.
to
I'm
it."
very intrigued. You'll have to show me. I'll let you
Constantina.
know if I would have consented on the next episode.
But to be fair, when I looked at the screenshots myself, I was like, "Yeah, she was kind of
So it was the situation that gave you the
probably." And I wasn't attracted to him, and I just wanted to go home anyway. And but,
you're like, you're gonna be. What if you looked at them now and like, I can't get a text back? This man threw himself at me. He's gorgeous.
I in another life. Let's not talk about Let's the one that got away.
This next
One that got
podcast
away.
might be like, do you know this? No, these Twitters like, or not Twitters, Reddit, when they're like, do you know this person? Help me find this person. The taxi driver who assaulted me. I'm open.
Yeah, but years ago, but he was hotter in the screenshots than I remember him being.
Oh, so he was a photogenic attacker.
very much. Like,
The
if you found-
attacker was photogenic.
like I couldn't put it on Crime Watch because people would side with the
Attacker.
attacker. It's kind of like like the Luigi.
The victim was punching up.
Very much. But it's like, when there's a hot criminal and everyone's just like,
Oh, deny defend the palace realness.
the very much. Listen, that's his own
That was
business.
used in a taxi man. Deny defend the palace.
The very much.
What was that other one? Do you remember he came out years ago, and he was like this guy with like really super blue eyes and really wide neck and like shaved head and like tattoos, and it was like the hot mugshot. He was like
Dillatrix.
he was he wasn't like that because he was bald, but do you remember that was went viral? I think this was more the Facebook
super
days,
fancy. Yeah.
and it was like the hot mugshot guy.
I know. It was he bald? Yeah, you
Yeah.
said that, sorry. Yeah, I remember
He
him.
was Stuntalina.
He kind of looked like the supermodel in a Rihanna video.
Yeah, he was
Like he'd
gorgeous.
throw you around.
Did he not end up being in somebody? He became a model, and he like walked like very snarky
I'm a
boots.
hand
He
model.
walked on somebody. He walked on somebody.
I'm sure
He
he
walked
did.
on a runway for somebody.
That costs extra.
That's so.
And did I ever tell you you're a prick?
Ba-dum-bum.
That's why Ariana Grindr coded out me to spit on something and masturbate it.
Okay, well, if we could not do that because that's actually an endangered species,
Oh, I'm so sorry.
it needs orange lights wrapped around it to stay alive.
Take me back. I can't change.
in another love.
I will eat the ass. I'm liking the outfit, Tina. You're fitting in.
I
the
was
vibes of
trying
the
to
set.
be very, I saw this little Miss Patchwork. I was noticing the colour Tina's. I was noticing the haggard appearance, the cacti. I was like, I want to feel like I'm on the rain.
Very much. Now, you see this jacket, every time I wear this, everyone compliments it. And I'll give you the lore on this jacket. I got it in pennies in the square when I first opened, and I was like 30 quid. Got it in the ladies' department. But this is the tea. It was like 30 quid. I loved it. It kind of was giving me like Taylor Swift folklore Evermore vibes, but like just in a different colour.
Right.
And I was like, love it. Love pink. And I was just excited to wear it. And then I kind of forgot about it. And then I started wearing it. But then I was seeing a lot of L ones just wearing it all the time. Little bingo Mead Street L ones.
When you were trying to catch a cougar.
Like limping along, podding along in this exact coat. And it just was like, you know what? Like,
And now you're podding along.
the very much.
Life has those full circle moments.
They do, but people are always like, oh, that's a gorgeous coat. I was like, let me tell you about this coat. This is like the most famous
It
coat
is,
amongst the 65 plus demographic. Well, 75 to 85. I have to bite myself in the mouth. That's what I get for talking shit about old people.
Do you know, we were talking about the Western vibes in here, right? And I go, oh, I don't know what I did. But my brother, shout out to Ty from the pod, he can never remember Orville Peck. Hi, shout out to Orville Peck. Stop stalking me on social media.
Very much.
Just because we're married.
Keep stalking
He
us.
can never remember his name because it's such an unusual name. And he goes, Adam, who's the fella you listen to? And I was like, who? And he goes, no, man, I'm gay. And every time he does it, I'd be in fits. Because you know your man, I'm gay. But he does it so well. I'm like, oh yeah, Orville Peck. I know exactly who you mean.
I love that for him. We're going in for a take. Taking the fucking piss. That's your bitch.
Taking the Mickey's.
Mickey Mike check. Is your Mickey Mike on? Oh my god. Nicely.
What do you think of the little move around I did? Now it's a bit messy, so but I did it
I
so
love
we'd
it.
have more roomage for the
There's-
situational situation.
So much more room for activities.
Yeah.
Thank you. And come here to me. Do you like my hat? The special effects. If you're not watching the pod and you're only listening, Autumn is fucking.
This is not staying in.
Oh, that's your own business. I'm getting hot box here.
I thought you were asking me a real question. I was like, yeah, it's lovely.
I'm getting hot box here, but listen, I like the smell of a vape.
Stop. I
Fair
don't
enough. Well, listen, that's your own business. She only smokes the Mickeys. Anytime anyone offers me a drink or a smoke or a vape, I'll be like, sorry, I only smoke the Mickeys. And see,
It's your own business.
that's my own business. I do love a vape though. Just I don't vape, as in I wouldn't go out and get one. I used to when I was drinking because I have something to like. Because I love being in the smoking area because that's where all the gossiping happens,
That's
the
the funny
networking.
stuff, yeah.
Like the amount of friends I've made in smoking areas, just trauma jumping on each other and bitching about people that we know. Very much. But my hat is it's the cast and crew Wednesday hat from season Do-si Do.
You need to go up close and show them because it does in fact say season 2. It's mad that you got that shit shipped
I also
from China so fast.
lol.
They can knock these fakes out.
I also got a t-shirt and I also got like a fleece and I had to get the bus, the coat. Remember I was telling you, I said it a
I'm
few
surprised
pods
you didn't
ago.
wear all of it.
I know, that would have been a bit overkill, I think. But I
Maybe,
wear them
maybe
all
for
the
like an ooky spooky episode.
very much. And but listen, when the season comes out, I'm going to become even more unsufferable than usual. I told my mom when I told my mom about it, I was like, when this comes out, and like I'm going to become unsufferable. And she was like, what do you mean become?
I was just about to
I was
say.
like, okay, Mary, fucking reading me for filth. Oh, like, well, listen, you can't get read by your own mother. Who can you get read by? But I got like I was saying in the pod ages ago, before we were a video pod, I had to go down and like pick it up from the set where we filmed. And it was so nice. It's cute.
In Wicklow, Ardmore,
Ashford.
Ashford.
But
yes.
oh my god, the bus journey to Ashford is so gorgeous, isn't it? At the Garden of Ireland, Wicklow.
The Garden of Eden.
It's so
the sunny
beautiful.
southeast, the Garden of Ireland,
Well,
Wicklow.
Not to edge it here, I'm bringing up Lord of the Rings again, but it's something very Lord of the Rings, Tina, about the mountains, the landscape, the trees. There's something about like Twilight Saga about it as well. Something about a mountain and treescape that just makes me feel like Edward Cullen is going to jump out and like bring me for a heavy riding.
Well, Miss Tina Tulkin boots the house further the pod.
You better hold on tight, Spider Monkey. Sorry to interrupt. Go on.
He wrote The Hobbit in Ireland. He was in the Burn, County Clare. Yeah.
Stop.
There you
Well,
go.
that makes
He was
sense.
inspired by the series of the yeah, all that.
Very much Tina. Jesus. what-
The Garden of Ireland.
Speaking of guard, did you know there's a gay guard that lives near us?
A gay guard.
There's a gay guard that
The
lives
Gardaí
here.
Síochána.
Lives near you and me because a friend of mine, shout out friend of the pod, I'm going to have to leave this person anonymous.
Are we allowed to dox guards on the pod?
So basically, he got picked up by the guard and put in handcuffs in a sexual way.
Oh,
And I was like, can I have him next? He wouldn't tell me who he was because he didn't want to share.
little swine.
I know,
Just
arsehole.
commit a crime.
The very much. I want to be picked up by a guard in handcuffs. And
Commit a crime in a little lip and a little wig.
give me the business. They'll give me
Do it.
more than a mugshot. Oh my God. But yeah, I was snapping, but he lives near here, he told me. And
Where did you meet him?
he'd be on a Grindr.
And
A
his
gay
name
guard.
was like,
He wouldn't tell me who it was because he doesn't want to share a sneaky link. Arsehole. Fake friends. Fake friends. If I had a guard that was going to hockey me out of it and like give me handcuffs and living in the area,
Arresting you.
I'd put you onto him.
oh my god.
I can share.
That would be so funny.
Share.
Get the-
Oh,
I didn't do it.
I fucking
I
did.
missed it.
I fucking did do it, but that's my own business. And come here to me. Oh no, I nearly just said some tea.
Oh, the story I didn't know whether to tell now.
Yeah. But we can talk about that another time. You need to speak with legal first.
Okay, yeah, I have to clear the story.
We have a sickening tale.
Of who could have been my mother-in-law.
So stay tuned, but we need to have
Need
a
to clear
shower
with
legal.
We'll clear with
But
legal.
once we do, I'll come back. We might have to tell. We might just be like, here, what happened to a friend of ours.
Yeah, because like, nothing compares to this story.
Anyway,
Let's go, Mary.
nothing compares to the story, but that's our own business. Diggity dick dick dick.
I can't get over that. The guards are on Grindr. I mean, support the Gardaí.
The very much women in business.
Was he? Was he?
I could have been a mob wife.
Oh my god! Actually, when I was in Wexford, I used to live in Wexford. Shout out, Laura.
Shout out
I
Wexford.
shout out
Deep,
Gory,
deep, real gory.
Yeah.
Deep friend of the pod.
and I was texting the guard down there on Grantina.
Get him back. I want.
I never met up with him. I never met up with him because it got a bit. What's that program? You or Her or whatever.
Oh,
He was like-
Joe Goldberg.
He was like, I saw you down the main street today. No, this is not how we spoke. But he texted me. He was like, I saw you today. I was like, why didn't you come over and say hello?
He's the FBI agent in your web camera.
He was very. It was giving. I was being like there was a stakeout. There was some meat out, but it wasn't a steak. No, it was given stakeout. He was like, I saw you today, and that happened 2 or 3 times. And I was just like, right, if you're not gonna like talk to me, you need to stop.
He was edging
I
you.
think I blocked him.
Bastard. That's Ben. But speaking of Joe Goldberg and you, love you, shout out you and what's his name? That actor.
I haven't watched
He's
it.
a big Georgie Wright. It's very good. But I will say,
I used to be seeing a fella, Brazilian guy, who was the image of him. But this was before the show, and then years after the show came out, and I was like, oh my god, that's the image of him.
you're like, oh,
I was like, I don't know.
you could have died. You could have become a statistic.
And speaking of Lord of the Rings, he had little hobbit feet. He had little weird square feet.
Lore.
That's his own business.
That is his own business. Listen, we probably good friends of mine. Manky nasty feet. But speaking of Joe Goldberg and you, that's like my that's the way I flirt with people. Like I'd send a picture of I'll send a gif of like Joe Goldberg like waving and looking creepy, and I'll be like, hey, want to get on my glass box? And they'll either think it's hilarious, and if they think it's hilarious, I'll know we're gonna vibe and that kind of like sixth sense of humor. And if they think it's stupid or whatever, I'll just move on. Thank you. Next.
So you'll fetishize this stalker, assault, realness, murder person. When a hot taxi man does it to you, that's a bridge too far.
Listen,
Let's have that conversation.
Fine.
Let's have that
fine.
conversation.
Let me say my piece. It is a woman's prerogative to contradict herself.
Team.
That's all I have to say about
Okay.
that. Let
Case
women
closed,
contradict
Mom.
themselves.
Case closed. Yeah.
Very much.
There could have been a case open. No.
Yeah, listen.
Now imagine a guard arresting you. Right? Oh. Now imagine you had this set up to get like, don't tell me you got to do it, right? And then you were actually getting arrested, and you were like, "Are you gonna arrest me?" Like you thought it was,
Yeah.
you thought it was a bit.
Yeah.
And they were like,
yeah.
"You have the right to remain silent." And you're like, "Do I?"
Reading my rights.
Oh my god! You start like touching his baton inappropriately, you know, and you get tased. This is okay. Edit that out. We're gonna keep this for the screenplay. We'll keep that for the
So
screenplay.
very much like I could have gotten my real life subpoena carpenter.
Oh my!
They're trying to get my subpoena carpenter to drag number in again. Oh, I live by an incession. Incession? That's not the words. It says impression.
Did anybody clock that you were like Sabrina Carpenter
That's good.
on Patrick's? Because you were that was your little Sabrina wig, wasn't it?
It was. I was get my money's worth out of it.
So, we've shouted her out before. We've shouted her out your very close personal friend.
Oh, Melissa Joan Mickey.
Yep.
Melissa Joan Hart, deep lore friend of the pod.
We'll have to get her on the pod.
We'll have to. I played a little cameo in here somewhere. If you want to hear the cameo
Roll the clip.
from,
Roll the clip. No,
Let's-
put in. Roll the clip.
roll the tapes. So basically, just if you haven't heard, I was doing a drag competition and I needed a quick interlude to do a costume change in my witchy number. There was a bit of I did a Sabrina the Teenage Witch with a Salem puppet being a jerkboard. It was hilarious. And then I was doing a Wicked moment. So I was like, oh my God, let's get a cameo from Melissa Joan Hart talking while I do my quick change off camera.
But this mad nut goes on Cameo and pays her and actually gets
$150.
Melissa Joan Hart
Now,
on the thing.
the 30
Iconic
seconds.
behaviour.
The 30 seconds. Now I ended up winning the drag competition.
Well, just as well because that was expensive.
€100 altogether. It cost $150 and she donated it to COVID charities or whatever at the time. That's what she was doing. But it was just her sitting on her bedroom floor, and she went on for about I think it was 3 minutes talking about how her husband. I won't even tell. I'm just going to play it. I'll insert it here.
Insert here, Mom.
Hi, Ariana. It's Melissa Joan Hart here. So I hear you are all the way over in Dublin, Ireland, and that you love Sabrina. And just sending you lots of love for good luck with your talent show. You're in the finals. That's amazing. And I know that your act involves magic, dance, and setting off a fire extinguisher. That sounds kind of dangerous, kind of wild, and I kind of want to see it. So good luck with that. And, if I know anything about magic, I'm going to send you some magical love and some magical wishes for good luck in your final. And thanks for being a fan, and hope you guys are being safe over there in Dublin. And I actually honeymooned in Dublin, so I loved it. I had a pint at the nearby pub, so I had some fun there. And I hope that you guys are doing well, and I'm sending you so much love. All right? Mwah! Good luck!
And there you go. And that's my cameo from
Iconic behaviour.
Melissa Joan Mickey. She got married in Dublin. No, she didn't get married. She went on her honeymoon in Dublin. Yeah, wild.
And is she really a witch?
Is she what?
Is she really a witch?
We're all witches.
Oh my God. That was like a documentary.
The very, very much.
That was reality TV. That's
Yeah.
finest. Melissa the Teenage Witch, I was gonna say. Sabrina the Teenage Witch it's that kind of throwback nostalgia to tell you that no matter what mood you're in, you throw an episode of that and your ditties are buzzing, isn't it?
Salem was my favourite. It was so cute.
Sabrina!
I love when he would be like,
Sabrina. And then the other realm.
oh, the other realm. Oh, listen, we spent
That's
our
such a
lives.
part of the lore.
Us and Drag is the other realm.
Years ago, someone was like, where are they? And you'd be like, the other realm.
The other realm.
And then Rucifer.
Oh, yeah, Rue was in it.
Yeah, she was like, the Grand High Cunt.
Very much.
Wasn't she? She was like the Supreme Judge
Yeah,
Witch.
and she was on it in and out of drag, which is very Contalina.
And was it the same characters when she was in that drag?
Yeah, I think so.
It's a bit of a shock horror scandalization that's not on every single episode and the movies on some streaming platform.
Very much.
Like Amazon, Netflix, somebody that you can just sign up and they're like, you
Yeah,
can
that would
watch
be fab.
every... Because I've tried to get them online before and I've Googled where can you watch them. And short of buying all the DVDs,
It's a
all
dodgy
the-
box gig, yeah.
you can't really. So that's a missed opportunity. So whoever owns the rights,
And I
sort it
did love when the Netflix Sabrina was amazing. Completely different kettle of fish. Did you see it?
yeah, I watched the 4th season and then I was like, oh, nice way, very different. But I loved them. The aunties were the best.
Oh, they were
that was the best thing about it.
But did you see in the I think it was the last episode, they did a multiverse situation where the original
Oh,
Aunt
God.
Hilda and Aunt Zelda are in
Is
it.
this season 2?
No, this is the final season. I think it was season 4 or something.
Oh, I didn't.
But if you watch, I think it's in the last episode. But Aunt Hilda and Aunt Zelda in the multiverse, because she's trapped in some
the Sabrina Cinematic, the SCU.
yeah, but she's trapped
Love.
in this crazy world where she's making a TV show about her life, and there's a laugh track. It's very reminiscent of the 90s
Oh.
00 TV show, and
It's like a hellscape.
yeah, Aunt Hilda and Zelda are
Oh.
played by the originals.
That is deadly. I love when they do stuff like that. With when they had the girls from Wicked the Broadway on in the movie. I'm like, I love that.
I love all that mess. When people go, "Oh, it's fan service," this is yeah,
And what?
service the fans.
Yeah, don't service the haters.
Don't forget the balls, bitch. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Very much.
Yeah.
I would love for them to do a reboot. Every now and again, there's this picture gets shared and it's a photoshopped poster of Sabrina the Teenage Witch, but it's called Sabrina's Teenage Witch, and it's supposed to be Sabrina is raising her child, and then obviously her aunts are in it and Salem.
Oh,
But
please.
wouldn't that be so cunty?
Somebody make it happen. Netflix, Hulu, Amazon,
And
HBO.
they're all such good
somebody.
friends. They always do the Comic Cons and the 90s cons together and sharing pictures, and you're on.
The millennials would eat that up with their, I was going to say spoon, with their fingertips.
And Zelda, I think it's Zelda, does like stand up comedy. She does like the Fringe Festival in like Scotland and all, and
She's come for a gig.
the very much. The very much. But no, they're still tooting, booting, and fluting around, pointing their fingers and doing all the cons and getting in pictures with each other.
And if they brought it back, I'd want it to be a similar vein. Like, I'd want the kind of animatronic puppet cat and all. I wouldn't want like sexy CGI set. No, I want the bit of Crunchalina.
Yeah, I think we're getting
like
away.
sound effects.
I think
and
we're
all.
getting away from that. People really want practical effects.
Yeah, love it.
We're going back, and because we're getting so fucking good at everything now, practical effects just look so country.
But I've been recently rewatching the Jurassic Parks, the original three.
Okay.
And there's CGI used in them, and it's, I don't want to say rudimentary, but it's early enough, like it's 90s CGI. But because it's used cleverly, Steven Spielberg, shout out friend of the pod, it's used cleverly, so it's like a lot of like, other than that big, the sorbet at the start, it's a lot of like, in the rain, in the dark, when it's like CGI dancing around, and then the rest of it looks fucking fantastic because it's all Stan Winston's animatronic puppet ship.
Yeah.
And the big full-size T-Rex robot that they built. So it looks real because it was real and it was in front of the camera. And it looks better than any of the new Jurassic World movies because it's like boots the house real.
Yeah, but I think we're going to get back to that now.
Well, we want
Do that to the camera, please.
in a nice way.
But not to bring him up again, but Fiera Roche, deep friend of the pod.
That's
I
all
wish he was
CGI.
deep. He doesn't even exist. He's an AI.
No, that's what people don't understand.
Life's painless when you're brainless because you're an AI. But yeah, and he's in the new one.
Oh, the new Jurassic
Yeah.
Park. In his slutty little glass. Steve's glass. I have a pair of glasses that are almost that shape. And wait till you see me rock up. I want to do a sexy sauropod look. I want to go to the cinema as like a brachiosaurus, you know, but like slutty dinosaur, so he can capture me and like take the samples or whatever.
I think we said something like this along in the Ferrero Rocher.
Well, it's
The Fiera Roche episode, and we were like, I'm gonna wear a harness, and then Jock went, I'm gonna go with me nudes. I'm gonna go to the film with me nudes. I can't remember which one of us said it. It was very funny, the whole exchange. I appreciated it.
Well, that's because it's true.
Listen, believe women, platform their stories. Even the hairy ones.
Brontosaurus realness. I
Image.
can't wait to see it. And it's the first of the Jurassic movies that it has the R rating. So it's it's meant to be Spookalina,
nice.
Crunchalina, kind of horror.
Put the 3D glasses on because you're gonna get covered in blood and guts. Smell-o-vision.
The 4DX business would probably be, you come out with a broken neck. I'll tell. Who broke your neck?
I'd love to do 4DX. My biggest regret is I wanted to go do it when Little Mermaid live action came out.
Imagine Matt watching the pissing videos in 4DX.
Oh, we'll go get Andy Lee.
Soaked.
When he's done with Victoria and Savina, we'll get a lens of him and we'll do an
We need
Andy
to do a
Lee.
collab with Cineworld.
4DX.
Parnell Street,
Yeah.
4DX.
And him just standing there pissing on you while you're watching the film. Nice way! And on that note, my name is Teen Pop Sensation Ariana Grindr and also Neville.
And I'm Adam, and also
And you're listening and watching Amazon Prime.
They do move in herds. Oh.
Nice way! Oh, listen, Mickey Mike. Listen, look at that. Get that on the 3D cameras. The 3D glasses. That was good.
Life finds a way.
That's the road business.